Hey guys, I'm elder brother Abel. I hope your guys' days are going well. Today I'm not going to be leading with a poem. I'm going to save that till the end. I wanted to make this video to talk about love and relationships and the stuff that I kept in mind while being with that special person. When I write poetry, I pretend that I'm writing to someone special because honestly, I miss the feeling. I remember the first time I fell in love. I was 12 years old, and it wasn't puppy love. No, it was intense, deep feelings for somebody that I cared about. And she was online, and she was from Australia, and I just cared for her a lot. And I remember we talked a lot on Skype, and I remember the first time that I actually admitted that I loved her. Prior to this, we've been playing online games and stuff like that for a very long time. So we had established a really good friendship. But one day online, I told her, well, I pulled her attention. I was like, hey, I wanted to tell you something. And she's like, what is it? And then I had my hand over the end call button, and I was so nervous. I remember my face was just flushed, and I'm like, I love you. And then I hung up so quickly, and I hid under the desk, and I don't know why I did that, but I just hid, and I was just so embarrassed. And after a few minutes, the best thing in the world happened. I stood up, and on the screen I had seen a message after the end call thing that she typed, and it said, I love you too, and with a heart. And it was like, oh my god, it was the best feeling I've ever felt in my life. Now, if you've ever fallen in love, you know what I mean. Love is a really incredible feeling that you can't really describe with words. You have to express it with poetry, with what you do for someone. You really go head over heels for somebody, and your thoughts are really consumed by them. And if you haven't fallen in love, it's completely fine. There's no rush to fall in love. But when you do, you know it. I wanted to talk about the fact that I've only been with people that I've considered really good friends. And honestly, I think I'd rather have it that way. It's better, honestly, when you're completely comfortable with that other person and they know who you are and how you act. And that goes a very, very long way in a relationship. In these cases, as opposed to when you're in a relationship that with a person that you just met, you're not put in a situation where you have to feel like you have to act a certain way. By being great friends with somebody before you get in a relationship with them, you've honestly accepted who they are and their habits, and I wouldn't have it any other way, like I said. Now, there are 4 really important things that I think every relationship should have. Now, there are more, but I think these are my top anyway. They're trust, honesty, communication, and support. Relationships have to be built on these, or else there's going to be unnecessary drama, fighting, and overall miscommunication. These concepts have had a tremendous impact in my relationships. You should be able to talk honestly about anything that's on your mind to that special person and trust them. And it goes the other way around also. Now, on a side note, I wanted to mention about being careful of the jealous person that gets way too jealous easily. People who tend to get jealous and try to control what you do typically have trust issues, and those are the kind of people you want to avoid. Now, what I'm saying, it might be obvious, but it's true. Now, I hate to break it to the person that says that they're jealous because they care. For one, that's really stupid. You should be able to be mature enough to let that person do what they want, so long as they don't break your trust. Now, moving on, I wanted to talk about being in a puppy love kind of relationship. Now, honestly, I could say that I've been in a couple of those kind of relationships, and they've ended badly. This is the type of relationship when you're basically infatuated with each other. I think it's basically just a relationship that revolves around trying to be a certain kind of character in front of the other person, just to try to impress them. Now, eventually those walls fall down, and you'll eventually see their real colors. And these kind of relationships honestly describe teenage relationships, and those weren't fun times for me anyway. Now, I want to mention that relationships change your perspective and test your maturity. Now, the best advice I can give to those people who are still in school, and I know this is hard, but honestly, you've got to wait. I know how this sounds, and you can't stop yourself from being attracted to another person. There's a lot of time being wasted on that relationship when that time should have gone to your schoolwork. And you'll also might end up growing up and regretting that relationship and hurting yourself unnecessarily. I think it's typically best to find someone when you're in university or outside of work. And one of the worst things that can happen to you when you're young is when you're in a relationship and you love each other and, they end up moving on and you end up with a broken heart. It's the worst feeling in the world, but it has a lot to teach us also. We begin to mature as a person when we grow with someone. We have to accept growing separately from them sometimes. Relationships really taught me how to be conscious of my own actions. My early relationships involved me being really clingy and emotional, and one of the hardest lessons that I learned was to not take someone for granted. That essentially just killed my best relationship that I had. They did everything for me, but I put in little effort in a relationship, and that's a huge mistake. Loving someone should be mutual, and it's a balancing act. When you're in a relationship, you should be able to put a lot of effort into them while juggling your personal life as well. Doing that is a sign that you're mature enough to handle a relationship anyway. Now, the last thing I wanted to say is people come and go from your life. Enjoy the time that you're there with them and make the most out of it. Learn to express yourself honestly, and if you're with the right person, they'll do the same thing. I've really learned to take time and accept criticism, and I learned to value when they show me their real feelings. Let them also inspire you to be a better person. Have love be a part of you and don't let it consume you. And remember to accept when it's time to move on and mature separately. And to those who haven't found love yet, I wanted to say you'll eventually find it if you look. And you never know when they might find you. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Love is a really complicated thing and it's convoluted and sometimes I don't know what to think of it, but it's the best feeling that I've ever had in my life. It inspired me, it made me do things that I never thought I would do, and honestly I would never take those moments back. Now, I've been your elder brother Abel, here with you for the moment, and remember, if no one else, I'll be here for you. Alright, now, my poem. Play me a tune, one that will make me fall for your idea, one that lets us be, a song as whole as the dirt and sea, never separated. Play me a tune from your heart, one that will make us stand and demand an encore because your heart is so pure. Play me a tune no matter how far you may be so that everyone will hear the loving melody that delivers your emotions to me back and forth. Play me a tune because I just love it. I'd love it if you did. That was a poem. I'll see you guys in the next video.